What's up, agents, and welcome back to another Division video. Before we get into it, this one's a very special video because today, well, yesterday actually, we hit 20,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, something I never ever thought I would ever do. So big shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. If you do, supporting the videos, liking them, watching them, putting all your crazy comments in the bottom of it. I just couldn't have done this without you guys. I never would have thought I would ever have got anywhere near 20,000 subscribers. It's all pretty crazy. So thank you so much. Here's to 2025 and the next 10k, I guess. 30,000 coming up next. But with all that said, don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. And let's get straight into the video. Right, okay, this is a little bit of a strange video that I'm going to do for this one. Because I wanted to talk about expertise, armor, and is it worth it? First of all, we'll tick off one thing. Expertise and proficiency and weapon upgrading is absolutely worth it. Because if you go into a weapon now, for instance, the Lexington, you can now add up to 27% extra weapon damage. At the moment, they've not put a cap on it. Every time we get more gear, we tend to get another level. Yes, it's pretty hard for people to do now if you're new to the game. It's an extremely long grind. And I think people that still play the game casually maybe not even be at 27 yet. It's a huge grind. But with weapons, it's absolutely worth putting in the time and getting that expertise level up. They've reduced the cost a little bit now compared to what it used to be. It used to be really expensive. But it's definitely worth the the grind. If you're going to upgrade anything, when you've maxed everything else out, it's definitely worth it. The only problem is there's no kind of refund system, right? So if the Lexington becomes mid next patch, or they nerf it or whatever, then them ingredients, them materials that you put into it are lost forever. They're in with that gun. Even if you rip the gun, there's no refund system or anything like that. So just be aware. And also there's no duplicates. So say for instance, you owned 2 St. Elmo's engines, or easy enough to own 2 FAMASs, right? If I've got another one, it's only this one that is level 20 expertise. But we are digressing. It's absolutely worth doing. It's a lot of work, but damage is damage. And now by the time you get to 27, it's absolutely worth it. But is it worth it when it comes to armor? And generally the consensus is absolutely not, right? Because it works a little bit different when it comes to armor. It takes the base armor value, and that is the only thing it increases, nothing else. So if you've got any other kind of armor bonuses, even like your 10% extra you get from Keener's watch, or you've got Foundry here and say this 10% armor here, that doesn't get affected by that at all. It literally only increases the base armor number. And this number here that you can see on the gear here, where it says 80k, if I did increase the expertise on it, this number wouldn't change. It's like this here is an image. It's not like with the rank 10 overlaid over the top of it. It doesn't change. So even if you do put expertise into something, as you can see here, this one actually has got 12k armor on it. And it says 80k. If I go to this Hunter's Fury, as you can see here, it says 80k and there's no bonus. So it doesn't change but it does upgrade the base armor value. And masks, chests, knees, all the different pieces all have different armor values. You can see here mask has 80k. If we go into a chest piece, you can see it has 158k. So it's definitely good value if you're going to do that first. 131k on a backpack, etc, etc, etc. Holster's a little bit higher than the other two as well. 112k, and then these are again down to 99k. So if you are going to upgrade anything, chest is your best bang for your buck, but usually it's kind of not recommended unless you've done everything else first. So weapons, I would definitely say, are a go-to. If you use the shield, if you like using it, the Crusader shield is a pretty good go-to that has active regeneration on it. Just be warned, I don't know if this is actually active regeneration on the striker ballistic shield. It just says regeneration, it doesn't say holstered regeneration. I would hope it's just a typo. This is the first time I've ever noticed it, so I probably need to try and check that out and figure it out. But definitely if you're not using firewall, active regeneration on the shield's good. Also the drone, it's just 27% extra of the damage. It's really good. Same with the turret. And what's really good about these, and we are digressing a little bit from the video topic, is that if you start a brand new character, the skills alone are shared across your account. So a level 30 character starting at the beginning of Warlords of New York will have this extra 27% damage on these skills. So if you put the drone on, it makes that incredibly easy if you are not being carried. So again, something else worthwhile to upgrade. But then people would say pretty much do everything else first before you do gear. And you can see here, all my gear is level 27. And really, there's kind of a reason I wanted to do that. One, I've got nothing else to do in the game right now. It's pretty boring for me until the next patch comes out. But two, I kind of wanted to test, is it actually worth it? Now, could I have worked this out on paper? Yes. Would it have made a good video? Absolutely not. It would have been rubbish. So what I'm going to show you here now is, you can see here, this is an all red build, right? So with no armor cores affecting anything or anything like that. The only thing that we will have affecting any numbers here is the 10% armor boost that we get from Keena's watch. But that will affect both anyway of the versions that we're going to show us, so we can literally just discount it. It doesn't matter. None of the gear that I've got on offers any kind of extra armor bonuses or anything like that, so we have nothing to worry about there. The only thing that these guys do have is that they're level 27, so they all have the 27% boost to the base armor value. And when that, you want to take a look at that, you can see here now that my armor, it does say it there, 922k, but if we wanted to be absolutely precise, you can see I've got 922k 040. Okay, awesome. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to switch to other gear. We'll keep it all red, but there's not got any upgrades done on it at all, so we'll just slap on whatever comes to mind. You can see here as well, just out of interest here, the collector is 158k. It's the same as a regular piece, so it doesn't matter if it's exotic or not. So we'll slap that one on as well. Then we'll put this negotiator's piece on. Again, that's got no proficiency upgrade, because again, it's not something I ever do. And then we're not getting any kind of extra armor bonuses from any of these gear either. And there we go, reload speed and status effects, so that's great. So again, we're a full 6 red build, but this time we have got no proficiency upgrades in armor whatsoever. And if we flip over to our stats, we can see now we have 726,000 armor. So is it worth it in upgrading all the way to the max? Well, essentially it's given me an extra 196,025, if we're being precise, extra armor. And you might say, Tickle, well, why is that interesting? Well, if you look here, a blue armor core is 170k. So essentially, by doing them upgrades, if you are running an all red build, you've actually got 1 blue core for your upgrade efforts. 1 and a little bit more, because you get 7, so it's 170 for the blue, so it's 36k, just over 36,025. So you get 1.2-ish, I guess it is, or something like that, worth of extra armor. We'll just call it 1, because it is what it is, right? We can't get any higher. So essentially you're getting a blue core attribute for free in doing your upgrades, and that's the kind of value you're going to have to decide if you want to take from doing them upgrades or not. If you run an all, if you run a mixture of, you can essentially add an extra red core to your build for your damage, rather than take a blue off. So that's essentially what you would be doing. Or you could run all 6 reds knowing that you've got 1 blue on. Is 1 blue enough? Probably not. Armor melts very, very quickly, but that is another topic altogether. But when you come to weighing up how many reds and how many blues you want to run, if you have got a build, for instance, just like this one here, where everything is 27, essentially I've got a free blue core in that build that you don't even see. And I think that's probably what's getting to the point where expertise now is becoming a little bit more powerful, because if this carries on, eventually it will get to the fact that you've got 2 blue cores for absolutely nothing. So you've got to think about it as the game progresses. The expertise is becoming more powerful. Yes, when we had got up to level 10 on these pieces, it wasn't worth upgrading. An expertise was much more expensive back then as well. It's still expensive now because it is exos, at the end of the day. But you could perhaps take it up to level 12, where it's cost you you know, next to nothing, just normal materials. There's no exotics involved at that point. But again, you're only getting probably around half a blue core. But again, it's a half a blue core for almost free, especially if you don't want to put any exos into it or anything like that. So that's kind of where we're at with this right now. I thought it was an interesting video to make, and I did want to kind of do the maths myself anyway, just to kind of see, you know, if it's actually worth it. But essentially now, you know, if you have got 27 all the way across the board, you can look at dropping a blue core for, you know, an extra red one and get yourself some extra damage in, which is pretty awesome. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I pretty much think this is probably something that people still is not going to do. One blue core isn't anything to write home about, but I do think once it creeps to 2, depending on where we are with the game, you know, once that creeps to, you know, the 170k times 2, whatever that is, you know, that's pretty powerful. 2 blue cores for nothing. All of a sudden, you know, somebody that's got max expertise on all of their gear against somebody that hasn't, especially in the PvP space, starts getting a real edge. Like, you know, I think, you know, 1 blue core right now probably doesn't do too much, but I think once we get into 2 and 3, if it actually gets that far and they don't cap expertise on the way up there, and I kind of think that they can't, but, you know, you never know what they might change with the upcoming DLC and things like that. I think, yeah, it's one definitely to keep an eye on, and I'm definitely interested to see what your comments are like down below. So thanks for watching, agents. Again, thank you so much for the 20k. I couldn't have done it without you. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, agents. Goodbye.